So this was the third and last day with my Korean family. We ended up taking the cable car back. There's a whole bunch of seagulls that come and they like surround the boat. Definitely a great buffet. So hot. Hey guys, it's Gabriel. Welcome back to my channel. I was hanging out with my friend today and we were at some sort of store and they had some Halloween decorations. One of the stores had like a net and then on the front it was the Scream mask and I was like, oh my gosh, like that'd be so perfect. At one point I was thinking maybe I would go and scare my kids before they come into class and I was like, no, I don't want to get fired. Unfortunately, I can't do that video, but I realized I have like my own stories that I could have been telling. My story is going to be centered around what I call the spirits. I have two versions of the spirits. The last time I took a personality test, I found out I was an INFJ and they say that INFJs have like psychic abilities. There has been times where I feel like I know something that's gonna happen. I don't always like act accordingly because I'm like, that's not really gonna happen. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's gonna happen. But it's like, oh, that's not really gonna happen. And then it happens and I'm like, oh, I should have listened. Like other people would just say that's like your subconscious, your inner self, like trying to tell you something. That's one version of the spirits. And the other version is basically, I keep looking at this door because this door has to do with one of my stories. The other version is basically like weird activity, especially when I'm alone. That's what I'm going to talk about today. I do believe that sometimes you see what you want to see, you hear or feel what you want to feel. Maybe even for me, that's what it is. Because so many things have happened, I just kind of anticipated. Whenever I'd bring it up to my mom, like she'd just be like, oh, like you need to pray, cast the devil out, like exorcism and stuff. Not really. Being in a house by myself, and it was a townhouse, so there's like 3 floors, I had to deal with that anxiety and that fear of like things going on and there's nobody else to deal with it. There was one night where I was in my room. I should play like scary music, right? These are all true stories, by the way. I'm not making this up. There was one night where I was in my house alone. I was on the 3rd floor. I had a dog at the time, and this dog, if it even hears something like kind of sketchy, like it will be like, you know, like it'll go crazy. So at the time, I was all the way on the 3rd floor. I heard the doorbell ring, and it was weird because this was like late at night, at like 11 something. I heard the doorbell ring, and immediately following the ring, I heard, exaggerating, it sounded like an explosion, but I'm pretty sure it was just like someone's like big body just being chugged at the door. And again, it was like immediate, so it would be like ding dong, like really loud, and that scared the mess out of me. And the scariest thing is that the dog didn't make a single noise, and I was like, the bang was so loud, I didn't know if the door swung open, if somebody was just ding dong ditching. I didn't have any friends coming over. I had nothing planned, so I freaked out and I called my mom. I was like, oh ma, like are you in town? Like is something going on? And then I texted my friend. I was like, are you like trying to scare me or something? And he doesn't even live close by me. Wasn't even around Halloween. It had nothing to do with that. Everyone just kind of checked out and was like, no, no, no. I was terrified, but the worst thing is that my mom, like she doesn't get phased easily. She's just like very calm and stuff. And so she's on the phone with me. I explained what happened. I'm just like freaking out. I'm like, oh my, I think there's somebody, like, I don't know if there's somebody in my house. I was like, and the dog, like he's not barking. And I don't know, like, did they kill the dog? Like, I don't know what's going on. I creaked my door open and I don't see a single thing. We had wood floors at the time and also wooden steps. So I would hear something as somebody was coming up. My mom is like, you need to go check. And I was like, God, like I've seen so many movies. I'm like, I am not going downstairs. She was like, you need to be brave and go check. If somebody's in the house, you need to know. You guys, I was terrified. I just felt so like invaded. I was like, oh ma, I'm gonna go downstairs, but I'm gonna keep you on the phone. Just don't say anything. She wasn't on speaker, but my phone, like it's pretty loud. If someone was in the house, I didn't want them to know that I was coming down. So I started making my way, going downstairs, ditching all the creaks and stuff. Now I was on the 2nd floor and I looked around and I didn't see anything. I was making my way around the corner to go check the stairs going downstairs, and right so scared. Right when I make that corner, before I could even check if someone was there, my mom just says really loud, check the basement, check the basement, and I freaked out. It was so loud that if someone was there, they would hear it. I ran all the way back upstairs. I went to my room and I slammed the door closed. I wasn't even able to check if the dog was alive. I was so mad at my mom. I was like, oh ma, I was like, you're gonna kill me. Like, I was so mad. She started laughing and I was like, I said be quiet. Like, why are you yelling? Why are you just gonna check the basement? I was going to go do that. She was like, you have to go check the basement. And I was like, I know. At this point, I didn't want to go back, but I had to. Like, there's no way I was gonna just go to bed. I was like, oh ma, don't don't you say a single word, like don't you say anything until I say it's okay to speak. And she was like, okay, I'll be okay. Meanwhile, I'm the one freaking out and she's just so calm on the phone, which actually was very helpful for me, but at the time I was just so annoyed by it. I was like, you should be freaking out. So I'm going back down the steps and I creep around the corner on the stairs leading down to the first floor and I don't see anything. I head down the stairs and I see the dog. He's completely fine and I look at the door. It's locked and completely closed and there's nothing there. And that freaked me out like even more because the noise that I heard was just so loud and aggressive and it just sounded like something major happened, and the dog was just so calm. He was practically wondering what I was doing there. I opened the basement door and I looked into the basement and there was nobody, and so I finally went back to my phone and I was like, oh my, like there's nobody in the house and the door's locked and it's still closed. And she was like, oh yeah. She's like, oh, that's weird. I turn on the light in front of my front door. I don't see anything. I open the door. There's nobody there, not even like a note. I was like, at least leave me something. Nobody walking around, and that was it. And to this day, I have no idea what that was. I have no idea if it was a person, if somebody was trying to break in, if it was just a drunk person. Like, I have no idea what it was. I just had to deal with it. I was like, of all places, like, why my house? So I just kind of, you know, said, oh, I guess it's the spirits. And it's weird, like living in that house, like my relationship with the spirits had like shifted. Like I used to be so scared of like the smallest noises and the faintest sounds. That one was aggressive and that's why it really scared me. But if it's just like a sound or two or like a creak, then, you know, I just say like, oh well, like if it's someone, they're gonna get me. So eventually I moved to another city. We've had a couple of conversations about the basement. I personally like the basement. That's usually where me and my friends hang out. I have one friend that's definitely like terrified of the room down there. It was funny, my mom and I were watching a Korean drama and she's very religious, so ever since I was a kid I would just be used to her just like randomly praying about something because she either saw something or, you know, maybe that's where I get my psychic stuff from. So the way our basement is set up, it's like a living room on its own and then there's a separate room with a bed inside. The door was like creaked halfway open. I wasn't thinking about it the whole time and we're watching a couple episodes of this drama and just out of nowhere my mom just starts like praying like really hard. She's like, she starts praying in Korean. Like I look at her and I'm like, she looks at me and she sees that I'm looking at her but she's still praying. She's like, that's not how Korean sounds, by the way. And then after she finishes the prayer, I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, oh, I saw something in there. And then she started laughing and then I started laughing, and the reason why we were laughing is because we both knew she just looked all kinds of crazy. The funny thing is that this wasn't a house that anyone else owned. Like we were the first ones to own it. This was a new complex and stuff. I want to say like the first couple of weeks that we moved in, I don't know how the conversation got started, but my sister mentioned that she was walking on the stairs of the basement and she was like, I swear someone pushed me. So yeah, ever since then we've all just been kind of careful around the basement. When it came time for me to move to Korea, I was like, oh, I wonder if like I'm gonna be hearing noises here too. For like the first 2 months, like nothing really happened. But then one day I was asleep. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. We have these sliding doors. I woke up to what sounded like my sliding door closing, and it's a motion censored light in there, and the light had turned on, but my door's locked and there's no way anyone could get in. Even if someone did break open the door, there's like a hinge that keeps them from being able to open it all the way. So that was a little bit alarming. The fact that it happened 2 months later, I was like, oh, maybe it did take them some time to find me. I just kind of took that as like, oh, welcome home. But I don't know, like sometimes I do feel like there's stuff going on, but instead of being scared of it or trying to figure out like exactly what it is, I just kind of learned to just let it go and just let it be whatever it is. You know, do your thing, just don't touch me, don't bother me. I hope you like these stories. If you guys have had similar experiences, let me know in the comments down below. Who knows, maybe my spirits know your spirits. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Definitely be sure to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Zuff678. Be yourself, love yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, bye. I'm the last person. If I didn't, I don't know why, I just felt like checking under my bed. What if this door just like swung open and something came rushing over here? Ooh, it's 12:14. What's on the other end of the cable car is Mount Miro. It instantly felt like tourist nation. There's so many people running around, small vendors trying to pass out water and various drinks and handing out ice cream, which was pretty cool. Not for free though. And there was also like a mini waterfall at the entrance, so a lot of people were taking pictures of that.